And welcome to this project review of Custer Road United Methodist Church, located at 6601 Custer Road in Plano, just south of Legacy. Brown & Brown has been privileged to do 10 consecutive phases over 30 years with Custer Road. This is their Phase 3 sanctuary and a $1 million organ, which was later added. This is true red brick, white column colonial. You'll see some features here. These columns have an architectural feature called emphasis, which is the bulging that goes all the way back to the Roman days. If you don't bulge a column with emphasis, it tends to look too skinny. The Romans figured that out. We're aware of that as designers, and so that's one of the things that makes this building so beautiful is the beefed up columns. You notice some of the detailing, the barrel vault, the three-sided horseshoe balcony, the true pews. It really is an extraordinary space. When the pipe organ was put in, all of the soft material was taken out. This has an incredible reverb. It's just an amazing space, sought after by brides, filled nearly every week. It's just a phenomenal, phenomenal project. Of course, you can imagine how this sanctuary is sought after for big weddings and is really one of the most desirable wedding spots in all of North Texas. Custer Road has an amazing youth choir and adult choir, and the organ is just absolutely robust. It's a phenomenal worship experience. Here we see it set up on a relatively typical Sunday with large choir, orchestra, a very full platform. Custer Road originally bought a little under 3 acres, then enlarged that to 6 acres, bought property across the street, and then wound up buying another 17 acres at the corner of Legacy and Custer Road. They spend well over $1 million a year on a bus ministry to park remotely and fill out this site. They far outgrew any of their original master plans, and we actually have revisited the master plan with them in each one of the 10 phases. It's really been amazing. I remember as a sophomore in high school looking at the original plans for phase 1 and asking my dad and grandfather, why is this just a big 2-story cube? At that point, there was no detailing toward colonial. It was done as economic as possible. And I can remember distinctly my dad describing that this church was moving out of a school. They were growing very, very fast, and that every square foot was absolutely going to be essential. And so the building was as economic as can possibly be built. Phase 2 was an education addition, 2-story, and came around to the sanctuary that we see from the outside here, which was phase 3. Then phase 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 added on various portions here across the street or down the way with the 17 acres. This was phase 7 that added an arcade hallway, some new circulation that linked the entire church with a very wide 15-foot hallway that went all the way from the south all the way down to the north and created new circulation after some of the original circulation was vastly outgrown. Some of the rhythms and detailing on this building are just phenomenal. My grandfather was a phenomenal designer. My dad worked with him on that, and then it was just a great privilege to get to join them in the later phases in seeing this tremendous master plan built out. Mark Craig was the founding pastor, and he was one of the most strategic builders we ever worked with. He was phenomenally good at doing a very large, aggressive phase, following it with a much more affordable phase that would actually pay off debt. So he'd go deeply into debt, then he would pay off debt, and then he'd be reloading for another phase. He literally built every 3 years. And his philosophy was, if you're doing a 3-year campaign, then at 3 years and 1 day, you're beginning to lose money that you'll never get a chance to get again. It's a really interesting strategy. A lot of churches will not build for 10 or 12 years, thinking that there'll be more there to access. And Mark Craig knew very well, no, if you're going to get it, you better go get it. Here we see a detail shot of the 97 rank Chance pipe organ. To install this pipe organ, it was so large it actually goes into the second floor and beyond the roof of the 2-story building behind the sanctuary. The pipe rooms and ranks are really just immense, and getting a pipe organ of this size in as late as it was put in was really fun. Custer Road began in 1980 with 77 adults and has grown to over 4,200 with 3 worship services on a Sunday. So very, very successful church, very successful series of projects, and a great partnership that we really value.